Hello, and welcome back to my channel. This is Skylar the Writer, and my channel is where I talk about my life as a writer. Fancy that. It's right there in the title. No fooling you here. Just straight facts. Hello and welcome. I am in a very goofy mood this afternoon now here in East Tennessee. It's a beautiful autumn day. Took my dog out for a walk. He's under the desk now. We met up with some neighbors that I'd never met before, who also had a little dog, and got to chatting with them. Great day. Really enjoyed it. But now it's time to get to work. So I want to kind of update you. As far as writing goes, I haven't actually started outlining the memoir yet. That is something that I'm going to do today. I told you in the last video I had a breakthrough, woke up in the middle of the night. This is about a week ago, actually. And, left myself a voice memo, kind of outlining chapter 1 of the memoir. I'm going to work on putting that into a more coherent outline today. I'm not looking forward to transcribing this, but I don't have any credits in my AI transcription software that I use. I use Happy Scribe as a journalist. I find that it's pretty accurate, and where it's not, you can go back to your recording and hear what you... I would highly recommend Happy Scribe if you're a journalist looking to transcribe things quickly. But it does cost. I think it's worth the money. I just don't have the money to do it right now, and I think, honestly, I would rather be able to think about it, so I'm going to transcribe it as I go. But I realized part of why I struggled for as long as I have to write book-length projects like a memoir or a novel is that I thrive off instant feedback. And my career has reinforced this. If you know the type of writing that I do, if you're familiar with the type of writing I've made my name writing, doing, whatever, it is incredibly tight deadlines that I've lived with. At the Independent, often I would pitch an idea and have 2 hours to produce 800 to 1,200 word well-researched copy. So I write quickly, I write nimbly, and I'm published often the same day, sometimes the next day. Rarely has it taken longer than a week for something that I've written to go out into the world for the public to consume. So I thrive off of instant feedback from editors, from readers, and all of that. So I finally asked a friend of mine, who is not a writer. He is an artist. He's a musician. He's my best friend. He's my favorite person in the world. I make no secret of that. He knows it. But he agreed to be my audience, and I was very excited. You know, I need somebody to keep me on task, and I think that he is just the person. He was very enthusiastic about being my boss. He didn't put it that way, but about like keeping people. He said he's very good at keeping people on track and on deadline, and he is. He's a teacher. He has to be. And he's just got such great insights, and I love the way his brain works. So I'm really excited to get feedback from him. But now I have to have a chapter to him every Friday, and it's not just a rough draft chapter. It's like this is ready to send to the publisher chapter. Which sounds maybe daunting, but I don't think it will be for me because I am so used to writing so nimbly. Now, I am out of practice because I haven't really written regularly since about December of last year because, as many of you know, I've been fighting cancer for most of this year and then recovering from cancer treatments. And I should know next week whether I am entirely cancer-free. I know that it hasn't spread to my chest. I got those results back on Friday, which was yesterday for me. After spending, oh my God, all day, I felt like, at the hospital. It took forever just to get this freaking CT scan. Like, I was in that waiting room for so long. I didn't bring a book. I didn't bring my laptop, so I couldn't do any work. I just sat there. And I was really kicking myself for not bringing my laptop because it would have been a perfect time to do some work. But it is what it is. I lost a day. But that's all right. I'm gonna make up for it today. So I'm gonna outline the first chapter. I'm going to go back in. I'm going to transcribe what I left in the voice memo by hand. I'm not using AI software, mostly because I can't justify spending the money on it right now. When I'm working as a journalist and I'm like have like what I call full-time employment, I was a freelancer, but like I was making pretty good money as a freelancer. I would use AI software just to speed the process up, and I would happily pay the fee. I used Happy Scribe. This isn't sponsored by Happy Scribe. I'm just telling you, like, I really enjoyed I thought they were very intuitive, and they did their AI software did a really good job of transcribing accurately. And where there was confusion, you go back and you just check your recording of your interview, and that's that. So that's a trick of the trade for those of you who are trying to get into journalism. But yeah, I'm gonna do it by hand, which is gonna take longer, which is tedious, but there are benefits to that, and the benefits include being able to hear the intonation of the voice, to hear the pauses, to hear the cadence, and that can indicate the state of mind that, in this case, I was in when I was saying this, and it can add additional this really rich context that just reading something off the page doesn't necessarily. So there are benefits to doing an old-fashioned manual transcription, but the AI transcription software is such a time saver that as a journalist sometimes, especially if the piece isn't like if I'm not necessarily writing a feature and I'm just interviewing like an expert or something, like in features you really want to build out the world that these people inhabit, but a lot of what I do isn't feature journalism. It's a little bit more straight reporting, and, well, actually, most of what I've done is opinion journalism, if I'm being completely honest, or just creative essays, creative nonfiction. That's what I'm known for. But I have done features. I haven't always been the best feature writer, but because I'm not. It took a while for me to learn, I think, to build the world around them, or to relearn it. I did know it earlier in my career, and then I started doing opinion journalism more and more. So I go back and I read some of the features. Like, there's one event I covered that another journalist covered from another national publication, and I read his feature versus my feature, and his feature was 100 times better than mine. Just the richness of the detail that he provided was not the richness of the detail that I provided. It was really a masterclass for me, looking at how he wrote versus how I wrote, and I was like, oh, I did this wrong. And this was not that long ago. So there's always value in learning from other writers. You know, both of us were there for major national, international publications. So both of us were clearly, you know, I don't want to say at the top of our field, but we're both clearly competent professionals. But I learned a lot from reading his piece versus my piece. Not necessarily in the facts of it. We had the same facts. But in weaving together this beautiful narrative that I just didn't. His readers got a much better sense of what it was like to be there than my readers did. My readers got a sense of more the political side of things. His readers were thrown into the event itself. I mean, it's just it's different ways of writing, but I liked his way better. I just did. So anyway, I've rambled. Honestly, I'm doing this video in large part because I don't want to write. I don't want to do work. But I'm going to. So part of this video is so that the next time I come back to you, I can say I've made some progress. And that I'm not embarrassed by having just sat and done nothing. Because as a writer, I think it's really, especially now, I'm not on a deadline. You know, I'm sort of, although I have to get this to my friend by Friday. But it's if I don't, I'm not losing money. I'm not going to burn a bridge with an editor. Although I am a little scared of this friend. Not really. Not like, but like, I have a feeling like as a teacher, like he could be pretty strict. Like, I wouldn't want to cross him. I wouldn't want to turn in an assignment late. Um, that doesn't mean he's a mean teacher. He seems like he loves his kids and he's really like he's got a good relationship with them. But we all had those teachers, right? My high school English teacher, my sophomore year, I loved her, loved her, loved her. Learned so much from her, and in fact, she was really the first person that I recall encouraging my writing and saying, "You have a gift here." But I would not have turned in an assignment late with her. There's no way. Oh, are you kidding? Oh no, she would not have. Oh, I would have been so embarrassed, and she would have brought down the wrath of the world on me. So I feel like he's like that. A really good teacher, one of those teachers is going to, and change children's lives, but strict. And sometimes we need strict. I'm not against strict. So, if anything, I need it. I have the attention span of an ant. I really, really struggle with these longer projects. And we can say it's social media, and I think for a lot of people it is. For me, it's not. I've always been like this. So, it's a fault. It's something I need to work on as a writer. So, and as a person. Because it's not just writing that I struggle with this app. So, anyway, I am going to go get to work. And I advise you do the same. Because it's not going to write itself.